It's a vivid word picture painted by the writer of Hebrews. And it wasn't lost either on the author or the audience. They understood quite literally the importance of an anchor. They knew that without an anchor, a ship was likely doomed to destruction. However, an anchor, if properly used, could be the salvation of a ship, particularly when it's caught in the middle of a storm. So we know a little bit about the anchor. What I'm talking about is the anchor of the soul. So let's talk about the soul for a little bit. On the sixth day of creation, God formed man. But man was nothing more than well-formed dirt and quite lifeless. Until God breathed into man. Then and only then did man, the Bible says, become more than just dirt. He became a living soul. By definition, the soul is the spiritual rather than the physical part of a person. And the soul is the animating source of every individual life. The soul is the location of all the psychological faculties. Like sometimes we'll see the word heart or mind or conscience. The soul is where life, where self, where desire, passion, appetite, emotions all live in the human body. It was the soul of mankind that was corrupted in Eden. Hear me. It was the soul that was corrupted. It's in the soul of a person that sin is conceived. And when sin is finished, it brings forth death. Because that's what sin does. It kills. Your soul is what lives forever in either heaven or hell. Your soul is what Jesus determined to save from damnation. What we see on the outside is not the real you. You, and listen carefully, you are not a body that contains a soul. You are a living soul inside a human body. Your soul is the real you. Therefore, what you are on the inside is most important. Your exterior often is a reflection of what's happening on the inside. What's happening inside your soul. So, on occasion, symptoms appear on the outside when your soul is in turmoil. Sometimes it's emotional instability, or maybe we resort to self-medication. Maybe we see self-inflicted wounds or some other erratic behavior, self-centered thoughts and actions. Everything negative becomes very personal and is taken as an offense when your soul is in turmoil. These are the things that begin to manifest on the outside. But make no mistake, what happens on the outside is only a symptom of what's really going on the inside. It's the overflow of what's on the inside that eventually makes its presence known on the outside. Chapter and verse. Let's look at it. Matthew 12:34. Jesus says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the overflow of what's in your soul begins to come out of your mouth. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. So let's find a few more. Matthew 15:11. It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man, but what comes out of the mouth, this defiles a man. Okay? How about another one in the same chapter? For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, and blasphemies. Jeremiah said the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Why is our heart innately in that condition? Because it was corrupted in Eden. And it will remain corrupted unless we do something about it. Somebody say amen. Let me know you believe it. Sometimes we want to mask the problem. I'm going to meddle a little while. Is that all right? Well, if it's all right or not, I'm going to do it anyway. We want to pretend the problem's not there. We'd rather treat the symptoms than fix the real problem. Because the problem seems to be overwhelming. It's internal. It's turmoil inside us. And if we're not careful, we don't know what the answer is. And we won't find it and we won't fix it. And so rather than try to delve deep into the very pit of your soul and find out where the issues really are, we'd rather dress up the outside and act like there's nothing wrong. Well, you can say amen or not, it don't matter. It's a true thing. How many know what I'm talking about? Am I talking about anything you know anything about? I certainly hope so. We'd often rather dress up the flesh so that everything looks okay. But inside, in the soul, there's a turbulent, chaotic storm going on. And without an anchor for the soul, you will be ripped from the moorings of everything that's right and good. You'll find yourself adrift and at the mercy of your surrounding circumstances. Many a well-intentioned soul has been shipwrecked because they failed to firmly secure themselves to an anchor. Please understand, storms are coming to your soul. It's not a matter of if, but when. And it comes in all forms. It's a letter in the mail, it's a doctor's report, a phone call, text message, a Facebook post. Not all storms are soul-shaking. Most, in fact, are not. Every now and again, a storm comes that shakes the foundation of your being. It challenges your faith. It brings a needed purge for the sake of your soul. And I've come to tell you today, in any storm, your soul needs an anchor. There's storm surges. There's an undercurrent that's unpredictable. Waves that threaten to completely overcome your very life. But when you're securely fastened to the anchor, remember the anchor is strong and secure and steadfast. When you're tethered to the anchor, you can endure any storm because the anchor is always stronger than the storm. The anchor of the soul. An anchor in this word picture is an agent of stability. It's an agent of security. It's an agent of steadiness. You connect yourself, you tether yourself to the anchor. And no matter how unpredictable or challenging your environment becomes, you can remain stable because the anchor holds fast. Things that do not have souls cannot help people who do have souls. Let me be clear. Your car will not help you when you are discouraged. The shopping spree you want to go on to pick up your spirits will not help your soul. It's not going to sustain your soul, even though your car may have a lot of creature comforts in it. And all the bells and whistles, all the stuff that makes it a very nice, comfortable, smooth ride. It won't sustain your soul. It can't help you because it doesn't have a soul. And you do. Your house doesn't have a soul. Your job doesn't have a soul. Your social standing doesn't have a soul. All these things, by definition and nature, do not have the ability within themselves to help you in your mind, in your will, or in your emotions. It's not there. Well, maybe you'll say that the anchor you have chosen is your husband or your wife. Well, maybe you think your anchor is your kids or your grandkids. Maybe you think your anchor is your BFF. Because you can always call them or text them. And they'll be a wonderful listening ear to all your problems and tell you how sweet you are and how wonderful you are. Pat you on the back, tell you everything's all right. Am I talking to anybody in here today? People have souls, I get that. And that's certainly a step up from connecting yourself to your car or your retirement plan or some house up in the mountain. Make no mistake, I love family. We need our natural family. We need our spiritual family, our church family. We need friends. Relationships do make a difference. But there's a problem when we use other people as an anchor for our soul. That person you're counting on, that BFF you want to lean on in your time of trouble, has a soul that is just as fragile, just as fragmented, just as scarred as yours and mine is. That individual will be there for you sometimes, but not all the time.
Kwa hiyo anasema mtu huyo kama unamweka katika nanga yako, anaweza kuwa pale kwa
muda. We can't save each other.
Hawezi kuwa pale kwa muda wote ule.
Did you hear me? We can't anchor each other.
Hawezi kutumia nanga ya mtu mwingine.
Well, we'd like to be the fix, and we'd like to be the help and the stability, but we really can't do it.
Tunaweza kuwa wasaidiaji.
Because we, at the very heart of our being, are just as flawed as everybody else on the planet. Yes, we need somebody with a soul. But that soul needs to be similar to our own. A soul that knows our plight. A soul that knows our condition. And yet, at the same time, it needs to be a soul that is profoundly different. And it needs to be a soul that is flawless and perfect and whole. We need a soul that can fix us because it doesn't have to fix itself. We need an anchor that is sure, that is steadfast, that is immovable. Our soul needs to be anchored in Jesus. Just like a ship's anchor holds firmly to the seabed, just as an anchor keeps a ship from drifting away, so the firm and secure hope that believers have can keep them from drifting away from their faith. We need Jesus as our soul anchor. The Bible talks about shipwreck, and it talks about it in terms of your soul. Paul wrote to his protege Timothy, pastor of Ephesus. He said, "This charge I commit to you, son Timothy, according to the prophecies previously made concerning you, that by them you may wage the good warfare, having faith and a good conscience." Sound good so far? But he says, "Which some, having rejected concerning the faith, have suffered shipwreck." Do you see the analogy? Are you catching the word picture? Somehow, they started well, but they untethered themselves from the steady, secure, steadfast anchor, and they found themselves adrift in life. And when the storm came, they found their souls adrift and at the mercy of their circumstances because they didn't have an anchor, and they were shipwrecked in faith and shipwrecked in life. Shipwreck is a consequence of having no soul anchor. Here's where we have a problem. When I'm in a storm, I'd much rather have a helicopter than an anchor. Can I take my time today? When everything's going wrong inside of me, I want a helicopter. See, an anchor implies that I'm going to have to stay right where I am. But really, in the middle of soul turmoil, I'd rather escape. I'm looking for the helicopter with those well-trained Navy SEALs on board who can get me up and fly me far away from my reality. Can anybody agree with me? People look for helicopter Jesus all the time. Tell me if that's not the truth. We don't want to go through the valley of the shadow of death. We want helicopter Jesus to come in with the grappling hook and say, "Stop, you're out of here, let's go." Because we don't want to go through it. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to face the condition of our soul. We'd rather get out of it and escape reality long enough to try to mask all the symptoms. Oh, hear me today. Hear me today. It's not the way Jesus works. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Hear what I'm telling you? He didn't promise you a helicopter, but He promised you wouldn't be alone. He didn't promise you to pull you up out of your reality, but He promised to walk with you all the way through it. He didn't promise you to get you to escape your reality, but He promised to walk with you through everything and anything. In the middle of our storms, Jesus is there. He's an anchor that we need to tether ourselves to. He's strong. He's stable. He's steadfast, immovable. He will never fail. Notice this. Anchor does its best work where it's never seen. An anchor plunges through the depths of a turbulent sea until it settles and wedges itself into the ocean floor. Meanwhile, back on the surface, in that boat that is your soul, you continue to be battered by all the elements of life. And all you can see in that moment are the winds and the waves and the storm whirling around you. But under the surface, you have an anchor. Under the surface where it can't be seen, you've got something that you're tied to that's strong and steady and secure and will keep you in the worst of a storm. Would you stand with me wherever you are? I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to give you a chance to come and pray this morning. I'll tell you something. I'm far more interested in dealing with your soul than dealing with your individual person on the outside. I'm far more interested in seeing you fulfilled spiritually and reaching the things that God has already put into you than to try to dress up everybody and put a plastic smile on your face every time we come together. I'm far more interested in dealing with the core issues that make you who you are than I am all the superficial things. Hello, somebody. Why? Because all the things on the outside are symptoms. How would you like it if you went to the doctor and he only treated your symptoms? That's right. Well, the man said he'd be dead. Well, we'll give you an aspirin for the fever. And we'll try to give you a little something here for that. And we'll give you something for this pain. And we'll give you something for that. What would it be like if you went to the doctor and all he did was treat your symptoms? What's the problem with that? The problem is the symptoms never go away because the core issues have never been dealt with. And we spend an awful lot of time trying to deal with stuff on the outside when there's really a soul problem that needs to be dealt with and worked on. You need an anchor for your soul. You need stability in the middle of the storm. You need something that's going to keep you from drifting away in your faith. When troubles and turmoil rages out of control and outside of the realm of what's understandable, you need an anchor that's going to keep you from doubting, keep you from drifting, keep you from dying in a shipwreck. Jesus sent his disciples across the lake in a boat while he went up in the mountain to pray. Jesus is alone up on the mountain, but the disciples found themselves in trouble in the boat. The wind had whipped up a large white-capped waves, and it made what should have been a very simple trip across the water a treacherous, life-endangering endeavor. They were understandably afraid. They could die out here in the storm. In the darkness of the night, the storm at its height of intensity, Jesus comes to them walking on the water. They're afraid, so Jesus calls after them and says, it's me, it's I. Don't be afraid. Peter courageously says to him, if it's really you, invite me to come to you. You know how the story goes. Jesus tells Peter, come on. And Peter walks on the water toward Jesus, but Peter loses focus and momentarily unhooks himself from the anchor and he begins to sink. And in that moment he cries out, Jesus, save me! And with that, Jesus reaches to him and picks him up. But he asks him a very pertinent question. He says this, why did you doubt? Why? Why did you doubt? Jesus gets to the boat, the wind stopped, everything begins to calm down around him. What he's telling Peter, and what the message is today is, hey, why are you doubting what has held you strong in the past? Why are you questioning the anchor that has been so secure for you in other storms? Why do you doubt and want to suddenly untether yourself from the anchor, the only anchor that will keep you secure? Why? The work's been done. Jesus is for you. He's going to care for you in this life as well as the one to come. So tether, connect yourself this morning to the only real security in life. Connect yourself to the only true anchor for your soul, Jesus. Allow him to secure your emotions. Give him permission Hear me. Give Jesus permission to bring His peace into your soul. I can't promise you that the winds are going to stop immediately. I can't assure you that the waves around your life are going to immediately calm down. But I can promise you that Jesus will keep you safe in the middle of every storm you face. Jesus is that hope that's set before us. He is sure and steadfast. He is the only sure anchor for your soul. Maybe you've got some soul issues this morning you need to deal with. Maybe you just want to make sure you're tethered correctly to the only anchor that's going to really help you. Whatever the case may be, I'm inviting you, I'm begging you, I plead with you, everybody in this room, I'm asking you to make a special effort to come down to this altar area, the stage in the front. Would you make your way down here as close to the front as you can? You can stand, you can kneel, you can do whatever you need to do, whatever posture you find you need to take. Would you come this morning and would you connect yourself to Jesus? Would you make Him your anchor today?